If you ever needed proof that the economy's in trouble, forget the stock market, forget AI bubbles, forget the gold rush, just follow the burritos. Because then eventually you'll show up to Chipotle and you will see that their stock has fell harder than my motivation after payday. It's down nearly 50% from all-time highs and another 45% on this year alone. And the big reason why should scare Wall Street, should scare just about everybody. Young people stopped eating out. And the first thing you might think is, well, broke college kids don't eat out much anyway. But no, we're not talking just about broke college kids. We're talking about the general population aged between about 20 to 35 years old. The CEO of Chipotle even admitted in their latest earnings call that these customers making under 100K, aka most of America, have pulled back measurably on their eating out, dining out habits. So, in other words, if you are still going to Chipotle, you are in the top 10%. And if you are still getting guac at Chipotle, yeah, you're top 1% of the 1%. What can I tell you? You see, economists have fancy indicators: unemployment, CPI, GDP growth. But lately, the burrito index, it seems to be the most accurate one. Because when Chipotle struggles, it's not because all of a sudden everyone decided we hate cilantro rice. It's because even mid-tier luxuries like a $17 lunch can seem like poor financial decisions. It's showing signs of a K-shaped economy, which we'll touch on a bit later. Now, this phenomenon is being coined the term the Great Pullback. See, this isn't just a Chipotle problem. Chipotle was just a symptom of the bigger issue that restaurants that once felt inflation-proof are now being hit pretty hard by the Gen Z / millennial spending slowdown. If you know about Cava, it's kind of like Chipotle, but Mediterranean style food. Cava also reported something similar in their earnings call. They said that younger Americans aged 18 to 34 are eating out less, saying they're being more deliberate on how often they dine. And you're not going to believe this actually, but the most inflation-proof, the backup plan for the whole world, McDonald's, has said the same thing. They admitted that visits from lower income customers fell by double digits during the third quarter of 2025. So just think about that. When even McDonald's is too expensive for your average person, if that's not a giant red flag recession indicator, I don't know what else is. I'm not saying we're going to be in a recession, or I don't know, maybe we are in one right now, just no one has said it. But this is not normal. This isn't something that should just happen to be brushed off, because meanwhile, the top 10% of earners are responsible for nearly half of consumer spending. The rest are left scrambling. So yes, we are all asking the big question of, are you subscribed to the channel yet? Why aren't you subscribed to the channel yet? Of course, you don't have to. And I know it might be annoying for me to just bring it up in the middle of the video, but we could hit that subscribe and like button. That would mean the world to me. And if you left me a comment, that'd be even better. Now, the bigger question that everyone wants answered: why is this happening? Why are people pulling back on spending? What's going on behind the scenes? Now, there's thousands of micro reasons why the economy is the way it is, but I put together 4 big ideas for us to really go through that have the biggest impact. So number 1 is going to be student loans are back. So after a long pause, payments have now resumed, and that's been eating up disposable income faster than the Chick-fil-A drive-through line. And number 2 is going to be inflation. I don't need to say much about that. We all know how bad inflation is. Everything is so much more expensive now. So inflation, yeah. Number 3 is going to be tariffs and economic tension. Tariffs, we all know that the president tweets about China tariffs, about Canada tariffs, Mexico tariffs, and that puts everyone in a standstill with prices slowly incrementing and not. And also you have things such as the whole Argentina beef situation. So economic tension is making a lot of people pull back on their spending because they're just not sure. There's so much uncertainty. And number 4, which is the most recent biggest factor, is the current government shutdown. See, as of November 2025, the government is still shut down, and its longest shutdown in history. I think it's like at 35 days or something like that. But that means that 1.5 million federal workers are currently working, or maybe they're not working anymore, but they're not being paid if they're working or not. So that's a huge hit to middle class spending power. And to put on top of all of that, 40 million Americans rely on or use in some way, shape, or form SNAP benefits, which is government. So with the government shutdown happening, SNAP benefits have been in the limelight. Like, they're going to be taken away, and they're going to be reinstated. They're going to be kept, and the funding's going to be there. The funding's not. That has a lot of people uncertain. So people are just holding back, taking care of their finances now in case all of a sudden SNAP benefits do go away. Because that's 40 million Americans we're talking about. Now, those are the 4 biggest reasons in our current economic climate that I've been able to see. But let's be honest real quick. This is more like a self-inflicting corporate pain, because Chipotle, Starbucks, Panera, they've all hiked their prices like they're trying to touch the moon in these last few years. And now all of a sudden they're shocked that people stopped reaching for their wallets. Like, insert Pikachu meme here. Wendy's is also down another 40%. Starbucks, yep, flatlined after another price hike. So this isn't just one off thing. It's the same story everywhere, and it seems to be only getting worse. If you ever heard that every kiss begins with K, that's a big fat lie, because this kind of economy, as we mentioned earlier, is known as a K-shaped economy. And I put this on screen so we can understand it a little better. But basically, it's when the divide between the top earners and people on the bottom earning spectrum divide keeps growing. At the top, you got big tech, record profits. You have bullish stock prices in the highest earning sectors. And at the bottom, you have restaurants, retail, and real people that are cutting back on $15 lunches because they have to. Now, I am not a financial advisor. I'm just some random guy on YouTube that's talking to you about the burrito index that I made up. So don't trust me with what I'm saying. But me personally, I have pulled back on unnecessary spending, like dining out and just buying things that I just would on another year would have just bought because I like it, like a little gadget or something. Is that you? Are you doing the same thing? I think the best thing that we can do is continue the course with our investing and take care of our money, because no one else is going to. You know, if you end up losing money on a big trade you took a risk on, you end up losing money because inflationary spending went up and SNAP benefits got cut, no one else is going to come save us. We are responsible for ourselves. My recommendation is just stick the course, because you might think, oh, I need to sell all my investments now. If in 2 weeks the economy crashes, you'll think I'm a genius. But in 2 weeks, the stock market could also go to another all-time high. It's so unpredictable, and it always has been. That's not new. The best thing that we can do, in my opinion, my personal humble opinion, is just continuing to dollar cost average into index funds, global markets, United States market, and stick the course. And overall, the greatest thing you can do is listen to the word of Jesus Christ. I think that's the best we can do. I needed to throw that in there like I always do, but if you haven't heard of Jesus Christ, you should look him up on Google or something. He's a pretty cool guy. So thank you guys for watching this video. And if you enjoyed this video, I cover other topics like this on my channel. I think you guys would enjoy them. Thank you guys for watching this video. Watch these two if you want. Hit that subscribe, hit that like. Bye, everyone.